Welcome back, guys, to a new video, a new day. Today, we will be talking about the Akatsuki, one of, if not the most iconic organizations of antagonists, versus the challenger, Yuji Itadori. Modulo Yuji, to be specific. We will be going over each character's scaling, starting with Yuji, because he is the first JJK character I'm scaling. And then we'll get into each duo of the Akatsuki. Will Yuji defeat the Akatsuki, or will he get annihilated? Let's find out. First off, something to note is that chakra and cursed energy are similar enough power systems where there shouldn't be any major differences between the power system. Obviously, domains are not similar to anything in Naruto, and there really isn't anything similar to Genjutsu in JJK, but we won't be talking about it too much. Now, for adult Yuji, he's the strongest character of tomorrow. Every feat that anyone else in the verse has, he should realistically upscale. And yes, including Gojo and Sukuna. Death battle. So that makes my life a lot easier. First off, we will start with Jogo's Max Meteor, which would have hurt 15 Finger Sukuna by his own testament, which comes out to around city level, 24 megatons, which is in the tier of Castle Bravo, a hydrogen bomb at 15 megatons. Since Sukuna says it would have hurt him in his 15 figure form, it's pretty applicable to a massively stronger Yuji. Gojo creating an earthquake only comes out to actually getting closer to 922 kilotons to 5.18 megatons. The best we can really see comes from Sukuna's Fuga, his flame arrow, which comes out to city level at around 10 to 20 megatons, similar to hydrogen bombs, with higher calcs putting it 50 to nearly 100 megatons. And since Jogo isn't obliterated, he just dies, but there's still a corpse, it's fair to say there's, to some reasonable degree, their durability scales around their attack potency. And Gojo's Hollow Purple with V comes out to around 300 to 340 megatons. That being fairly consistent with Gojo competing with the Sukuna nearly or at full power. In Modulo, from what I could tell, we can scale Yuji by comparing him to Deborah, who is a Sukuna level threat. Deborah's near light speed kick can get into those mountain to large mountain levels at 500 megatons to nearly 4.5 gigatons, or large mountain level. Yuji should realistically scale or upscale this feat. Considering there are higher interpretations for this previous feat, it's fair to say that Gojo and Sukuna and characters like Deborah are in those mountain to possibly large mountain level ranges. But what about Yuji in Modulo? His most famous feat in Modulo is his Dismantle, which can be anywhere from large mountain level at 2.4 gigatons to island level at 7.07 gigatons, which makes sense since he should upscale off of Gojo and Sukuna, and this level firmly puts him ahead of both. For speed, there are three main metas: Hypersonic, Lightning Timer, and Relativistic. I think for consistency's sake, many people will bring up Maki being Mach 3, but her catching that bullet versus her sister comes out to Mach 4.5 to Mach 7.4, which is pre-awakening, so obviously there are some consistency problems. The best explanation is that their travel speed is slower than their reaction time. Lightning Timer makes sense when Sukuna reacts to lightning. Then he intercepts an electromagnetic wave, which moves at light speed. His reaction time is at 6% the speed of light. There is further consistency with Deborah, who literally attacks near light speeds to slightly below it. Really consistent for top tiers in the verse with attack speed possibly faster than light. So Yuji's around baseline island level, 7 gigatons with relativistic to light speed reactions and attacks. His kit includes blood manipulation, poison immunity, black flashes which increases attack power or will, near instant RCT, soul perception, soul targeting shrine. The Akatsuki is the most feared group of rogue ninja mercenaries. They're all fight designed and chosen because they can hunt down Bijou, giant chakra monsters that nuke landscapes and are traded around like nuclear weapons that were given out by Hashirama to balance between the villages to stop war. But this didn't work and evidently leads to more wars and child soldiers. The first duo we will talk about is Hidan and Kagezu, but we need to talk about baseline strength that each member of the Akatsuki scales to. Each member should be around city to mountain level, scaling to Curse Mark 2 Sasuke, who is a 1.4 gigaton large mountain level fire style jutsu, but Curse Mark is at least a 10 times amp in power, so it gets debuffed to 140 megatons for his base form. Kakashi in part 1 fights Kisame, who Sick Itachi spars with, who fights Sasuke, so they should realistically be around that 100 megatons or mountain level baseline. For speed, they should be sub-relativistic to relativistic via downscaling from characters like the Raikage, who moves at light speeds, and other light speed attacks from Itachi, Darui, who is fodder. If you want an exact value, Kurin is a lightning dragon that moves at Mach 8000, which possibly has light speed scaling. Kakashi also intercepts lightning himself at around the same speed, both around 1% the speed of light. Kid Kakashi also cuts a natural lightning bolt himself, so anywhere in those low percentages of light should be consistent with these characters. Now, for Hidan, he's the clear-cut weakest member of the Akatsuki. His whole gimmick is that he's immortal in that he performs the Jashin rituals, and if he gets your blood and performs the ritual, he can give himself fatal wounds, and it links to the person's blood he has. It doesn't kill him, he is immortal, but that's about it. In a flashback, we see him and Kakuzu fight the Two Tails. Kakuzu notes how long it takes to perform the ritual, so he basically is a non-factor, especially since I don't even think he could be strong enough or fast enough to draw blood from Yuji. Kakuzu does all the heavy lifting, and while he is stronger than Hidan, and it's significant, but I don't think it puts him above someone like Yuji. He has the 5 hearts that all have to be destroyed, and weirdly enough, Sage Mode Naruto's Rasen Shuriken is calculated to be around 5.68 gigatons in Sage Mode. Sage Mode is also at least a 10 times amp, so you can downscale it to 568 megatons. He's a base Rasen Shuriken was able to take out 2 of Kakuzu's hearts. I have no doubt that a simple dismantle would be able to do the job against a much slower and weaker opponent. And the masks kind of just get taken care of. Of all the masks, the lightning one really the only one to give Kakashi any difficult time and speed, and it would be in his best interest to keep his hearts in him. Or scaling to the Two Tails, who he was physically dominating, the Jinchuriki, who could scale to country level via Biju bombs in the 4th grade ninja war, but the Two Tails we see him fight is much smaller than the one we see in the war, so I don't think this Kakuzu's country level, especially since a mountain level attack took down 40% of his hearts. Kakuzu would basically be forced to use his diamond skin to take any attacks at all, but they are slower and weaker. I don't think Kakuzu is lasting long enough for Hidan to perform the ritual, so Yuji clears Kakuzu and Hidan. The second duo we talk about is Deidara and Sasori, who is the first duo in Shippuden. Excuse me. Who we come across who takes down Gora, the ninja president of the Sand Village. The Kazekage, like all other Kage, are either the strongest or one of the strongest members of the respective villages. Gora intercepts a couple of Deidara's attacks that comes out to around 100 megatons, or nearly mountain level. This should apply to Sasori as well, since Deidara admits that Sasori is stronger. Deidara actually has a couple of dangerous moves, like C3, C4, and C0. We will start off with C3, which he used to start off encounters. Now, this attack would be enough to possibly stagger or harm Yuji to a certain extent. A much more impressive feat is he knocked out the Three Tails, which later has country level attacks. C0, Deidara's most impressive attack, a Rage Quit Bomb, comes out 5.43 teratons or small country level. And since he didn't blow himself up fighting the Three Tails and the Biju are weaker without Jinchuriki, a user that harnesses the tail beast power to the full extent, it's likely he can't use this attack at all the time. But it would obliterate Yuji if Datara does use it like he did last time. C4 is by far his most dangerous attack, which fills the area with microscopic bombs, which hurt a Curse Mark II Sasuke, who makes the cloud formation comes out from mountain to large mountain level, put him on a similar level to what Yuji's durability should be. Datara is also dangerous because of his C2, which is a dragon he used to keep his distance from Sasuke in their fight. Datara and Sasori both should be sub-relativistic to relativistic, as I said before. A fight might start with Datara going up into the sky and starts to bomb Yuji with his C3. It's very likely Yuji can just jump that high as seen in his fight with Sukuna, or use blood manipulation to shoot down Datara. If he uses C4, Yuji could potentially be immune due to his poison resistance as being Sukuna's vessel, but it's not really a poison, so I could see how it could bypass his biology. He could also use his blood manipulation to purge the C4 out of his body, and C4 is more disintegration at a cellular level. Yuji might be able to just use his RCT to out-heal the C4, which he has nearly instantaneous regeneration. C4 might be avoided due to Yuji having soul awareness and danger senses, and since the microbombs are infused with dangerous chakra spiritual energy, he could just get out of the way. Datara also has his Rage Quit clone. Yuji might be able to look at his soul and sense the difference in energy flow. It could probably just dodge it. The only Datara win con is really a tie, and it's blowing himself up, which would obliterate Yuji. Yuji would likely dominate a physical encounter if he ever came to one-on-one. He was overwhelmed by a much slower, heavy Sasuke. Now, for Sasori, he's largely on the same level or slightly stronger, as stated by Datara. He has his poison, his 100 puppets, which took down a nation, his ace, his third Kazakage puppet with the Iron Sand and poison, which is probably his best bet in this fight. Yuji should most likely be immune to the poison due to being Sukuna's vessel, but the puppet itself is very strong and would be in that mountain level range of attack potency, possibly higher, since Rasa was said to contend with the One Tails, and the third Kazakage was stated to be the strongest in the Sand Village of all the Kazakage. But due to Sakura being able to destroy the puppets who are relative to Kakashi, their durability should be much lower. And the problem with this is that Yuji is a lot faster than Sasori or Datara, and in a 2-on-1 Datara is kind of useless unless he wants to bomb Sasori as well. So C0 or Iron Sand are really the only win cons for the duo. Yuji might just blitz and one-shot both of them. And he will probably could figure out that Sasori is a puppet with his soul awareness. The next duo is Kisame and Itachi. For the speed, they should definitely be fastest so far, as they both have direct light speed scaling. Kisame fights Killer B, who should be equal to when him and the Raikage perform a lariat, which is at light speed or near it. Killer B also fights alongside Naruto, who manages to dodge the Raikage. Itachi has an attack called the Water Fang Bullet, which moves at light speed. Now, this is not great for Yuji, so let's just get into Kisame, who name is the Tailless Tailed Beast, who fights Killer B and Jinchuriki, who has country level scaling, who he also defeats another Jinchuriki named Roshi, the 8 Tails, which attack potency, if we just lowball the crap out of it, gets into the pentatons, continental to multi-continental, at least with the Bijou bombs. But this is not a scenario where AP doesn't equal durability, as we see the 8 Tails get his attack deflected by the 10 Tails and tanky. He is damaged, but he does tank it. But let's say Kisame doesn't scale because Killer B, 8 Tails never used a Bijou bomb, even though his physical durability should be nearly as strong, especially since the attack is referring to was a charged up Bijou bomb and not the one deflected back. But let's just take that away for a second. Kisame, after makes a giant water bubble, the the technique gets up to 2.71 gigatons or large mountain level. And this is without fusing with Samehada, which he can do to get stronger. So he already nearly as strong as Yuji and on the same speed tier. He just casually has higher implications than Yuji. Yuji, the only way I can see him winning is if he immediately goes for the kill before Kasami tries to absorb all his energy with Samehada, who can take off tailed beast levels of energy. I don't think Yuji has much energy as a tailed beast. Even if we take Kenjaku's statement about Goju of power in a nation literally as possible, it gets to 24.5 gigatons for US or 41.65 gigatons for China, or island level. The 8 tails casual tailed beast blast that does scale to his durability that Kasame fights in another tailed beast before. The yield would be 168 to 285 times larger than the Gojo statement, which is powering a nation for a full year. Even with extreme disingenuous highballs, you can barely get high tier JJK characters to small country level, and they would still be weaker than a character that can capture Bijou. But Yuji can damage the soul with his attacks, his dismantle, and his domain, which his normal fist in dismantle, he has to physically land and touch his opponents. And at this point, the characters in speed are on par with Yuji, or nearly on par, or superior, that comes with just getting physically dominated by superior raw strength. He would have to pop his domain in order to get past Kisame. Obviously, there are some characters that would have some soul awareness because you can't protect what you don't know that you have. Kisame doesn't have inherent soul awareness. So, I mean, I could see Yuji talking to Kisame about the ninja world and his life lacking fulfillment or some, you know, Naruto speech or something. But we already see that Kisame puts the mission above everything. It would be willing to kill to not give info. So if it does come to that, I can see Yuji possibly pulling off a victory in a 1v1 against Kasami. But if it's against Kasami and Itachi, the first character that might definitely be faster than Yuji, he also has an Edo that nerfs you, manages to protect Sasuke from White Extreme Attack, which moves at light speed, as confirmed in the data books, along with his Water Bullet Jutsu that also moves at light speed, and Kakashi manages the attack and Itachi fights him. And it's just over. Usually he he stops at Kasame and Itachi. I mean, Pain with a casual technique, he puts clouds in the air, 462 megatons in the village that never stops raining. He's also able to overpower tailed beast bombs in the range mentioned with Kasame. His Shubaku Tensei is 46.65 gigatons or island level, or nearly 7 times stronger than Yuji. And to be honest, it's just over for Yuji. He gets a lot further than I thought with the little wank, but that's it. Take care, guys.